Hi folks, Doyle Dykes here, and I was just looking at this old picture book that I found, WSM Grand Ole Opry. And I got this when I was just a kid, and we went to the Grand Ole Opry, and we were on, Dad took a vacation, but I had won the Teen Talent show from my church, the Church of God. And that's what I was raised in. And we were on our way to what they call the General Assembly. Went through and always wanted to meet this guy here. And so on our way to St. Louis, where the convention was, we met Billy Grammer. Now, he was a friend of my Uncle Smitty. And a lot of you know he was the one that I got the guitar from that I gave Roy Clark that I got back after all those years. Well, also, Billy Grammer was one of those in that close-knit circle of my uncle. And he told me a story one time, and he also had if you ever watched Joe Bonamassa, one of his favorite acoustic guitars is a Grammer guitar. Well, this is the guy, Billy Grammer. And he was an Opry star, and he owned his own guitar company. I mean, isn't that rock star? And he sold it later to the Baldwin Company. But Billy was a fine guitar player. And we met him, and to make a long story short, years later, when my wife says, you need to be playing your guitar again, and I said, if you know anybody, from all those years later, I called Billy Grammer, and he remembered me. He said, hey, you're Smitty's nephew. He said, who have you played with before? I said, well, I used to play with J.D. Sumner and the Stamps. He said, well, if you can play with them, you can play with any country group. And then he introduced me to Grandpa Jones. He found out, he asked at the Opry, he said, Paul, are you still looking for a picker? He said, I may have found somebody. And his daughter called me. And within 2 weeks, I had the job with Grandpa, moved up to Nashville, and was playing on the Grand Ole Opry before I even knew it. And this also, when I was with Grandpa, if you could look right here on the old program, you can see me there. And so they had this program for, I think, several years, the Opry program. And this is kind of a rare thing that I have. But it has the lineup and everything on the inside. Never knowing that one day I would be playing as a solo artist on the Grand Ole Opry, like this past weekend. And this was the program, in fact, that we had last weekend. Of course, you always see, I have 2 or 3 little Opry houses in my room here. And I have an old seat that came out of you can see way up top maybe, I don't know, from the Grand Ole Opry, I think from the 40s or 50s. And I just love the Opry, and it's a dream come true to be able to play on it. And that's what this series is about, this Guitar Pour series right now. The Chet Atkins medley that I played July the 24th, 2021 on the Grand Ole Opry. I put a medley together, and it's Oh by Jingo, 3 little words, and then the next song is Salty Dog Rag. And so, by the way, thanks again for joining on our YouTube channel, and if you will, give us a good like and subscribe, and we're shooting for, I think we're going to have over 10,000 real soon, and so we're just believing for a whole lot of people to join us up with us. And people have asked, well, why haven't you been giving guitar lessons during the pandemic? That's a great way to make a living and to help. A lot of musicians have done that. I said, well, I've been doing free guitar lessons for a while, and so they've kind of taken on now. So we appreciate that. And I want to do the third song. Let's see. The second one was. And so that is like. So it is actually a G, like a bar, like an A here, and a step down, and it's more like an E minor and then a D minor, okay? And I do them as a minor 7, so it's like A. If you could look at this as a little chord down here, this would be like an A minor 7, A minor 7 with a bar. So, and then, and now you're in the key of C. So you go. And so Chet would sort of play in front of and behind the chords. Like, in order to do that, you know, of course, you have open A and E. Your bass is already there, so he would just hit partial chords, and he would hit a lot of open strings. C, A, and so it would be like an F. And that's like a C7 moved up 2 frets. So here's your C, A, and that's what you can do it like, you can do it like that if you want to, but I do it because I like movement going on, because I don't always have Larry Paxton on bass and Eddie Bayers on drums. So here we go. Now what this is, that's like an F suspended. And what I would do here is put your F sharp here and then your A flat in your bass, and then move these down and keep this one on the C. We call that a 4/5 or an F over a G. And so what you could do this one first and then just slide these 3 up, and that's your chord. And then come back down. There's that 9th chord and that frees this little finger up. And I did do a G bar there, G7. And you're just doing an F, and then F, and then an open B. Okay? Here we go. Set it up, but instead of hit, I would go like that. Now this would be like a C6, and then an A, and then a D. So you're hitting partial chords. So what I'm going to do is just hit these, and then when you're picking like this, these are open. Like if you took this C, just 2 fingers, and moved it all the way up to where the A is, so it becomes an A7. So, and then and it's breaking down what would be the second position, D7, and just reduce it down to these 2 notes, because these are open strings. open. And so I'm just hitting, and then this is open. And then I'm doing a Chet lick that you start off, and it's just a triad. Like this. Major, major, minor, minor. A different minor, which is like a D7 moved up 2 frets, which would be an E7, and then a D7, and then. So that's a D7 form of D7. Then you have this flatted, so it's like a G augmented 6. But the thing that makes it really pretty is when you pick it, and you pick it like this. First string with your middle finger, second string with your first finger, third string with your index, and then your first string again with your third finger. So here. So you slide it. And then you change it to like 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. And so here we go. Now that's just something I made up, but it sounds very Chetty. It's on your A7. And then. And that's that same as before. And then. Just catch these 2 notes, which makes it an E augmented 7. Now, I don't even hit this one because I'm not picking it. And then we go into this. And so here's that part again. And the finger is like 2, 3, 4, 1. The next video. Thanks, folks.